Hi everyone, James here from Lighting Matters. Today we're going to run you through some options when it comes to switching your halogen downlights to LEDs. Okay, so firstly we need to understand what you have in your household. The two common types of halogens are the GU10 240 volt, which runs off mains power, and the 12 volt MR16. Now these come in various different wattages, such as 10, 20, 35 and 50 watts, more commonly the 50 watter. So the very first thing that you need to do is turn off your lights. Now I'd probably leave these alone for a good 15 or 20 minutes as they get really hot. The maximum temperature we've recorded these at is 265 degrees C. So a good 20 minutes will let them cool down and you won't burn your fingers off. This is the 240 volt GU10 halogen lamp. Now replacing one of these is a little bit tricky, as with LEDs the physical size is a lot larger, as you can see. So one of these either 8 or 7 watt LEDs is a comfortable replacement for a 35 watt halogen lamp, and a 10 watt LED like this in a GU10 format would be a comfortable replacement for a 50 watt halogen lamp. There's no need to worry about changing transformers. It's a lamp in, lamp out, pull, twist it out. Now in the 240 volt land, that's all fine. Now we come to the land of the 12 volt halogen. There's a various range of transformers, some of which are very colourful and pretty, but ultimately there's two types of transformers. One is the iron core. It's big, it's black, it's heavy, it's very heavy, and you've got these very light electronic transformers. So if you're trying to determine what you actually have in your ceiling cavity, just have a little tug on the MR16 lead and you'll feel it pulling. If it's as heavy as that sounded, then it's probably an iron core. Now, the number one reason that people come to us is to understand why their LEDs don't work. The common complaint is that they flicker. I'll give you an example. You go and install your lights, and then this will start happening in a moment. It's coming. There you go. So these old iron core transformers are extremely inefficient, and it's very hard to get these anymore, but they do provide a stable 12 volt AC output, which means that if you have an LED which actually uses DC, it's probably not going to work. In fact, that's probably one of the main reasons why these lamps flicker. However, if your lamp is a 12 volt AC input, you won't have any problems whatsoever. Now here's where the real severe flickering problems come from. All of these electronic transformers here have a minimum load on them. You'll note that on the little cases they have 20 to 60 VA, which means 20 to 60 volt amps, which in the DC world is 20 watts. Now when you go and put a 5 or a 10 watt LED on these, the transformer actually restarts itself continuously, causing severe flicker. Occasionally you'll find that the flickering happens above 60 hertz, so that our eyes can't actually see the flickering. Over time it degrades the transformer and the lamp. So what we've got here is a select range of transformers with very similar issues. Now I'll show you how to overcome this in just a sec. So we've got all these transformers and we've got some manufacturers. Now as I showed you before, this is one of the lamps that we picked up off eBay that's running at 10 watts, and you'll notice that it's sort of going a little bit crazy as it is. When we talk about reputable manufacturers, we're talking about Philips, we're talking about Bright Green, we're talking about Indici, we're talking about Cree. All of these guys have pieces of technology inside of these lamps which basically make the lamp pretend that it's running at a higher capacity than it actually is. What this means is that the transformer believes that the load is higher and therefore continues to supply the voltage to the lamp, and it continues operating. So you'll notice that every single one of these lamps works on the standard transformer. Now the very last reason for flickering is dimmers. So these little suckers have generally a minimum 20 watt load as well, which means that when you switch to LEDs that are 10 watts, you need to string 2 or 3 up to make sure that you're meeting the minimum load. The other thing to note with dimmers is that If you have a combination of, say, iron core transformers with electronic transformers that electricians have changed over the years, and you're still using the existing dimmer that was running with the iron cores, LEDs aren't going to work. The combination is not correct. You need to pair iron core transformers with leading edge dimmers and electronic transformers with trailing edge dimmer. Now, when you're converting your halogen downlights over to LEDs, you also need to think about the color temperatures that you're looking for, so whether you want a warm white or a cool white, the beam angle, which determines the spread of light, so whether you want a wide spread of light or a narrow spotlight. The color rendering index is a big one, which is the light's ability to produce natural colors compared to sunlight, and the lumen output, which is almost the most important thing when it comes to retrofitting these. Now, explanations of all of these are documented on our other videos on our YouTube channel, so check it out. The link is down there somewhere. And please feel free to get in contact with us, www.lightingmatters.com.au, if you'd like to purchase any truly compatible LED downlights.